Hi, we're Ryan and Kirsty, and it has been a long while since we made any YouTube videos. If you watched any of our previous videos, you will have known that we were travelling in our motorhome for 2.5 years all over the UK and Europe. But a few months back we decided that we didn't want to do that anymore. We wanted to settle in one place, so we made the decision to move to Spain.
In this video we're going to go through what we've had to do to move to Spain, why we've moved to Spain, and the visa process and everything that we've had to do to be able to come and live here.
So you might be wondering why we didn't want to go back to the UK and settle there, and why we decided to try living in a different country. So after we decided to stop travelling in our van, we spent a few months living back in the UK. That was essentially enough time to cement in our minds that we just didn't want to be there. We knew that anyway. That was part of the reason why we went travelling in the van in the first place. But after doing all of that travelling and going back to just living in the UK in one place, we were we were certain that it just wasn't for us anymore.
Yeah, we was even living in a nice place. We'd got a nice flat in Stratford-upon-Avon. It was summertime, it was beautiful, and even though after all that we still didn't want to be in the UK. I think just everything you see on the news all the time, it's just negative energy, negative press. The governments don't give you any hope. The high cost of living, there's just so much, high crime rates everywhere. There was just so much.
Yeah, it just felt constantly, it felt every single day. We don't even watch the news much, but you can't avoid it on things like social media and stuff. It was just constant negative things happening all the time, things that just made us think, why are we here when we've travelled so many beautiful, amazing countries, and we knew that our quality of life could be so much better somewhere else. We were thinking, why would we want to be here when we could be somewhere else? There's nothing holding us back from being anywhere else.
And then, so the decision came is where? So we had a good think about some of our favourite places we'd been to. Obviously we was lucky enough to go to over 25-ish countries in the last few years, so we had a good understanding of where we wanted to go. So our top countries were probably Norway, Switzerland, and we kind of knew they probably wasn't quite, even though they was beautiful, it wasn't like where we wanted to live.
No, there were amazing places to visit in the van and travel to, absolutely unbelievable, but realistically not very livable countries for us because the cost of living is incredibly high.
Cold.
Very, very cold, very harsh winters, just amazing for visiting but not for living for us. So then we started to think about the countries that we'd been to that were perhaps more realistic to live in.
And I think Spain and Portugal were both high on that list.
Yeah.
We loved Portugal, but Spain just had that little bit extra for us. It had a brilliant expat community. Language was a little bit easier than Portuguese, so we felt we could learn it a bit better. You've got weather all year round. You've got the mountains. You've got the views.
Yeah, we felt like cause in our van we spent probably about 6 months in total traveling Spain. So it was a good amount of time to travel all across the country. We've seen and did so many different things, and Spain is such a varied country. It has like everything. It has incredible beaches, mountains, lakes, cities. Just we felt Spain had everything that we love all in one country. Spain has amazing food, amazing culture. The people are so friendly. It's only a couple of hours on a flight from the UK, so friends and family want to visit, they can do easily, flights all year round. So there was just so many benefits. Spain basically just had everything that we wanted in a country to live in. So
it just ticked every box.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy choice, really.
And one of the main things is they offer a visa that we qualify for. So we'll go into a bit more in visas in a bit, and probably more in another video. But that was a big decision as well.
So as we mentioned briefly before about visas, it's basically the most important thing you need to think about when you want to live in a different country now, because since Brexit it's not so easy to live in a different country for more than 90 days. So the visa was something that we had to do a lot of research on to try and find out if it was even possible for us. But luckily for us, we work remotely, so the digital nomad visa was the perfect option for us.
Yeah, as we've been travelling for over 2 years, we knew we could work remotely. We knew we'd have with businesses set up, so we knew working wasn't an easy issue. We just needed to find the right visa, and luckily Spain offer a digital nomad visa.
So we're planning to make a whole separate video about the digital nomad visa because it's quite a complicated process. There's a lot to it, a lot to talk about, and I don't think we'll cover it all in this video, so we'll make a whole separate video about how to actually get the Spanish digital nomad visa. But we'll for now just give you a brief overview of the cost of it and just briefly how it worked.
So we hired a company to help us with our digital nomad visa. They were fantastic. I would definitely recommend hiring someone, a lawyer or a company, to help you through the process, because it is quite hard. There's a lot of stuff you need to do.
There's a lot of paperwork to fill in, isn't
Yeah.
there? You have to be very, very specific. I think they're very, very picky about
just make sure
things being
everything's
absolutely
exact.
right. Yeah, so it really helped to have that company, because I don't think we would have been able to get the paperwork exactly correct without them. Been a lot of backwards and forwards and unnecessary messing around, whereas they knew exactly what they were looking for, so it made the process a lot easier for us, didn't it?
Yeah, and we did have to go back and do lots and lots of stuff again because it wasn't quite right. So they cost us €1,700, so it's not cheap, but it made sure we got the visa quicker, so it's definitely worth it. And there was a few other extras that we needed to get, like police reports, apostles, and translations, and they were about €300, so it was about €2,000 in total that it cost us to get the visa. So one of the other costs with the visa is you need health insurance. There's a couple of different ways you can get it. You can, with some visas, get it from the UK still, but we just opted to get private healthcare insurance. It cost us around €1,200 for the year.
That's in total for both of us.
Yeah, for both of us, 600 each. So depending on how many there is you, and if you've got kids, it might be more.
Yeah, we just chose that one because that was the best option for us, but there are other options,
Yeah.
so it's worth doing your research on that.
Do your research.
If you are looking at it.
We got a recommendation from the people who helped us with our visa, so they put us in touch with these, and they seemed the best one for us and the best one for this visa as well, because there's different insurances you need for the different visas.
Yeah, it's a whole complicated thing when you start looking into it, but we were recommended these people, so that's what we went with.
And it was pretty quick, so it took us a few weeks, months to get everything prepared, but once we got to Spain, we applied when we got to Spain, and that took around 2 to 4 weeks. So it's pretty quick.
To be approved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's pretty quick. So if you do have any comments, just drop them in the comments section below. We'll try to answer any questions you might have, and then we'll try and do a full video on it as well.
So obviously, one of the other most important things was where were we actually going to be living in Spain. So as we said before, in our motorhome, we'd spent roughly about 6 months travelling all over different parts of Spain. So we had a rough idea of our favourite area. And there was actually somewhere there that we visited in the van, and we didn't say this a lot when we were travelling, but we actually said, I could see myself living here. And that is pretty much the area that we've chosen to come back to. So we chose to live on the Costa del Sol, not too far away from Malaga, in a place called Nerja. It's really, really beautiful. Yeah, when we visited this area in our van, we were like, yeah, this place is lovely. I could definitely see myself here. So that's the place we chose to come back to. And then we knew generally the area that we wanted to live in. Then we had to think about what property we wanted to live in, what kind of house. So we used a website called Idealista, which is
it's like the Rightmove.
Basically, the Spanish equivalent of Rightmove. So it's got properties to buy, properties to rent on there. At one point we did consider just coming out here and buying, but then we realised that's a big risk and a big commitment, which is probably not great to do straight away. So we ruled that idea out. We definitely would have saved money in the long run, but in terms of what's sensible to do, that didn't seem quite right. So we decided to look at properties to rent. And basically on Idealista they have like a map, and you can draw out an area of where you want to live and search for properties in the area. So that's what we did. Lottie's here now. So yeah, we basically found the property that we liked the most, and contacted the estate agent through the Idealista website. It was all over WhatsApp. We asked them if we could do a digital viewing, so we did that over Zoom. They showed us all around the house. We absolutely loved it. It was completely fully furnished, like down to cutlery and plates and pots and pans. Everything was included, which was perfect for us because it meant that we didn't have to bring very much with us. Yeah, we loved the house. We basically just chose it on a whim. It was like that. Yeah, so obviously that was a bit risky doing that back in the UK, but we felt assured by the estate agents. They were really nice people. It was actually the owner of the house that showed us around when we did the Zoom tour. She doesn't speak very good English, but between us and the estate agent translating, we were able to ask lots of questions.
And the biggest thing for us, they didn't mind paying the deposits on arrival, so we didn't have to send any money up front.
Yeah, we didn't send it. And also the other biggest thing, which we were struggling with, is somewhere that would accept dogs, because a lot of them, there was lots and lots and lots of houses available, and then one of the filters you can choose is pet friendly, and once you put that in, it dropped right down. So generally it was perfect. It was a lovely house. It's brand new. It's just been built. So the decor was perfect for us.
Swimming pool, views.
It had everything that we were looking for. Just felt good about it. We felt that it was all legit, and the estate agents were really nice.
So the next step was to pack our whole lives into the car, basically.
And the logistics of how we were going to get here with Lottie and all our belongings.
So we got a car, got a roof box.
We had the bikes on the bike rack.
Yeah. So we booked a ferry from Plymouth to Santander. We'd never booked the ferry before, but we thought that's the quickest way for us to get to Spain. We was a bit scared because we'd never got the ferry. It's like, 2 days at sea. We couldn't get a pet cabin because they are just so hard to come by.
You have to book them basically like a year in advance,
Yeah.
I think.
But we managed to get like a Lottie and a kennel, so I was a bit scared about that anyway, but we thought, right, let's do it. Packed everything up, which was hassle in itself.
Yeah, we because the house was fully furnished, we said, okay, we're basically just taking a car's worth of like personal belongings of us, clothes and stuff like that, and the roof box, and that's it. That's all we're taking. We're not shipping anything over, that's it. So it was a struggle to pack all of our belongings essentially into the car and the roof box, but we managed it. So it was all packed up, ready to go, set out on the road, and we already knew, because we were checking the weather forecast a lot in the week during the time that we left, and we knew that it was really stormy. It was horrible weather forecast, so we were dreading the ferry anyway, because we thought this is going to be choppy, it's going to be horrible. And as we set off, we found out that the ferry had been cancelled because of the weather.
So yeah, nightmare, absolute nightmare. So we rang up the ferry company, got a refund, drove straight to the tunnel, and booked ourselves onto the Eurotunnel, which we loved anyway. It's so much easier.
We'd always done the tunnel before because it was so easy, just half an hour and you're into France. Obviously it's a lot of driving once you get into France, but so that's what we had to do. But I had to get on the tunnel. We basically looked at the journey, thought, okay, we can drive for this long today, and then we'll pick a hotel in this place. Managed to book the hotel on the day, did the same the next day, booked another hotel. So it took us 2 days of driving, but then we made it to the house eventually. So the ferry was, I think it was about £580, and then from Santander to where we live in was about a nine-hour drive. So we were planning to drive a bit, stay overnight in a hotel, and do the rest of the driving the next day. So I think we worked out the cost of like the ferry, the hotel and fuel. I think it was probably going to be roughly about £800-ish, maybe a bit less. And I think there was not very much cost difference between doing it that way and doing the Eurotunnel and driving all the way through.
We obviously just got the extra driving, but in cost-wise, there isn't much difference.
So I would say the cost of us actually getting here was probably, roughly about £750 to £800, something like that.
So one of the biggest decisions of moving to Spain is the cost of living, what you get for your money compared to the UK, compared to here. So we've done some calculations and figures. So our rent for our 2-bed flat in Stratford, which is in the centre of Stratford. Lovely area, but obviously it's busy. But it's still a nice flat-ish. We were paying about £1,100 for the flat. Then our council tax was £168 a month. Our electricity bill, depending on what time of the year it was, whether we've got the heating on too much and stuff, was about £80. Then water was about £50. And then TV licence was just £15, coming at a total of £1,413 for us to live each month in the UK in just a 2-bed flat. So then we compare it to here, where our rent is £1,500 a month, and we get a 3-bed, huge house with an outdoor barbecue, a swimming pool,
Amazing views,
a roof deck, fully furnished, brand new, massive kitchen, massive dining room, massive living room with big sofas.
Yeah.
The views are just the best views you'll get, and we're paying the same amount of money.
Yeah, so
Spain is, especially this area, it isn't cheap.
no, it's not cheap, and we haven't chosen the cheapest property either. We could pick somewhere a lot cheaper than this, but we just wanted to ease ourselves into life, and we knew, okay, there's certain things we want to try, which is why we chose this property, but we could have gone a lot cheaper than this.
Yeah. The Costa del Sol is one of the most expensive areas in Spain. So if you are looking for different areas, Alicante and Murcia are definitely cheaper. But we just really like this area, and it is more expensive. But compared to the UK, for what you pay in the UK to what you get here is a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
Wherever you go.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we could get this a lot cheaper, but when you compare what we've got here compared to what we had in the UK, just a flat in the centre of town, it was so busy, the road noise was horrible, cars going by constantly. Just, yeah, there's no comparison. It is a completely different way of life. Like, they couldn't be further from each other.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the cost of living is just outrageously different. Basically, and the cost of living in the UK just seems to be going up and up and up all the time. We're definitely better off for our money here in Spain.
And then there's other things that come into it, like fuel is a little bit cheaper. We're paying about €1.20, so maybe like £1.10. And I don't know what fuel is in the UK at the minute, but I know it is coming down a little bit, obviously from the highs that it was a few years back. So it is a little bit cheaper here. Food pricing isn't much difference.
I wouldn't say there's a huge. I think it is slightly cheaper, but not like a hugely noticeable amount different.
The only thing is fresher. Everything's a lot fresher. You can't see it, but there's mango trees, there's avocado trees, we've got orange trees all around us. Everything's just picked locally. It's not flown in from the South America or anything. It's all picked locally here. It tastes a lot better. And that, even though you might pay a little bit more for that sometimes, to support local farmers, it's just not a lot nicer. So one of the biggest things that we have noticed is eating out is a lot cheaper. You can get a lot more for your money when you go out for food at restaurants. So that's really good. We eat out a lot more, especially like beer prices. You can pay like £5-6 a pint in England now. So we roughly paid about €3.50, which is about £2.50. So yeah, pint of beer, really good. And then like even cocktails are cheaper, aren't they? Like we pay in England we paid £15 for a cocktail.
Depending on where you are and where you go,
yeah, but here,
outrageously priced. But
you can pay like €5 here. So one of the next costs is the car. So obviously we brought our car over with us. And we'll import that onto Spanish plates. We've not quite fully gone through the full process yet. So again, we might make another video on this. But again, if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. We'll try to answer if you've got anything on that. But yeah, so we'll give you a full update on that. But the reason we brought our car over is just because it was easier to get here by bringing our car. And also the used car market in Spain is really expensive. For us to buy the same equivalent car in Spain would have been about 10 to 15% more. So you're talking like maybe like quite a few grand more.
Yeah, you get 6 months, I think it is, before you have to import your car. So we're just going through that process now, so we're not really at a place where we can fully inform you on that yet. But once we've done it, then we'll make a separate video about that. But that's obviously just another cost and another thing to be aware of. Something you have to think about.
You can't just leave your English car here.
Yeah. Yeah, so essentially that is everything we're going to discuss in this video. So all the costs involved, so like the visa costs, the costs of physically getting here with the tunnel and the driving. And
it's been one of the best decisions we've ever made.
Yeah, so far we've been here for about 4 months at this point, and yeah, it's been incredible so far. We've got some drone footage of the house, so we'll put it in this video and show you. But every single day, still now, even after 4 months, we just wake up and look at these views, and I'm still shocked by it. I'm still like, how are we living here?
We've just been outside more. It's what, the 4th of January today. We're outside. It's probably, well, it feels a lot warmer.
Yeah, it's 18 degrees.
Yeah.
It does feel warmer.
It feels warmer than that. We're in shorts and t-shirts, and we can go cycling. I've been scuba diving. Kirsty's doing yoga on the beach. Just going out with friends and sitting outside, playing paddle. You just do so much more in the colder months through winter and just being outside. So it's just such a big difference being here.
Yeah, our quality of life is so different. Our way of life is so different. I can't even explain how different it is being here compared to the UK. It's just a totally different way of life.
Everyone's just friendlier as well, and
the sun just makes you happier. The sun makes everything better. So we would say after 4 months of being here that we're very happy with our decision so far, and just to experience something different I think is amazing. Just to, if you're not happy settled in the UK, and you are able to, like working remotely and stuff. I know it's not for everyone, but there are options, and we just thought there's no point settling somewhere where we're not going to be happy if we don't have to, and we can at least try it. If we don't like it, at least we can say we've tried it and we know. That was the most important thing for us. We didn't want to just settle back down in the UK and then have regrets about not trying to live somewhere else. But so far, it's been amazing. It's been a very, very good decision.
Yeah, so if you do have any questions, please leave them in the comments. We'll read every one of them, reply to you, and we'd love to get some views on this video and start making videos more again, and start making a few different type of videos.
Like we said, we've got more videos to make about this whole process, like a more detailed one about the visa, maybe a more detailed one about importing the car. So there's plenty more information that we've got to put out there.
If you want to see a full house tour as well, leave it in the comments.
Yeah, we'd be happy to show you around.
And show the area. I mean, like I say, we just keep looking. We've got mountains here, we've got mountains here, we've got the town just below us. It really is amazing.
Yeah, it's hard not to be distracted by looking at it over there and not looking at the camera. But yeah, we hope that you found this video useful in some way, and it's perhaps answers some questions you might have had. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.